Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Daily Bone podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Those are going up right now. Meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we have a lot to discuss. We're going to discuss crypto's continued bleed and where things could go from here. We're going to discuss Bitcoin puppets, the talk of the town over there on the ordinal side of the market, and of course, the pups token showing its first signs of weakness. It's been nothing but strength prior to this. And also check in on the latest airdrops that are coming to Solana. We're going to go deep on that with Easy. Very excited about that one. Clemente's having some audio issues. It's okay, Clemente. One of my favorite podcasts is Top of the Food Chain broadcaster John Anik, one of the UFC's best and brightest broadcasters, and he has roadcaster issues on that podcast, which obviously frustrate him since he's a consummate professional. Before we dive into the weather report, because we have a lot of meat on the bone, since I brought up the UFC, I want to just shout out Mark in the audience. That's at Mark, at M-A-R-K, who's a Bodogos holder, a little Bodogo of the day off the dome here, because he got tagged by UFC fighter Merab Devashvili when he was trying to tag Mark Zuckerberg. I promptly responded and said, that's not Mark Zuckerberg. That's a random guy named Mark, to which Mark responded, hey, I'm a Bodogos holder. And I'm like, all right, Mark. All right, I got my bad, Mark. All right, I'm not trying to call you a random guy and make your life seem insignificant, Mark. You're the man. Anyway, let's rock and roll. We're going to kick things off. Choose Rich Nick will be joining us shortly, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, we have Always On Point Signal. That's her new nickname, at least for the next 15 minutes, with the weather report.
Thanks, PR. I'll take that any day. It's Tuesday. It's April the 16th. Let's see how that market is doing. On the ETH side, it's 21 million. Solana market volume at 8, and Ordinals pulling back down to 17. On the market leaders, if we look on Ethereum side, it's Redacted Remelios. They're up to 1.8 ETH. Bored Apes have recovered over 10. They're sitting at 11. On the Solana side, SMB Gen 2, that is up to 50.5 Sol, and Parcel has dropped almost 50% to 6.3 Sol. Finally, on the ordinal side, it's the Natcats. They're up 35% to 0.038 BTC, and the Puppets, they're down 20% to 0.375. Is that a buy? On the crypto roundup, the majors, they're bleeding almost 5 to 10% over the last 24 hours, with Bitcoin down to 62,500. ETH also down to almost 3,000, and Sol down to 133. On the meme coin side as well, obviously they got red across the board. Whiff and Bonk both down 15%. A few coins have bucked the trend though, with Mando's Epic up 50% and Ethereum meme coin Andy up 35%. Over the past 24 hours, top 3 stories. Well, firstly, Solana Collection Parcel has released details of their Parcel token ahead of its 9 a.m. launch this morning. Some top users have reported allocations of over 100,000 tokens, with a token currently trading OTC at roughly 80 cents. Secondly, next in airdrop news, Sharkify Shark token went live on Jupiter LFG Launchpad. Their tokenomic structure were released last night and received basically based on the vesting schedule and large team allocation. Shark is currently trading at 65 million market cap, and Sharks and Solana are down 30% to 3.4 Sol. And then finally, on the ordinal marketplace from Magisat released a first of its kind mempool marketplace. This platform allows users to snipe pending ordinal transactions, effectively turning ordinal sales into a mempool auctions. Public availability of this platform helps retail users fight back against the snipe bots. That is all for the weather report.
Having a little
back to you in the studio.
There we go. A little bit of rain there at the end of the weather report signal. Got through the whole thing though before any kind of connection issues. Anyway, moving on to the Daily Bone newsletter. That is emailed to anyone that subscribes at dailybones.com. Quantum Cats announced Cat VM, a Bitcoin bridge that provides a permissionless scaling solution for ordinals, runes, and quote, much more. So a lot of action coming out of the Quantum Cats Taproot Wizards organization. Love to see it. 2 technical co-founders there doing their thing on the Bitcoin side of the Web3 market. AI-powered multi-genre MMO, so massively multiplayer online Avalon. Or am I tripping here with what I'm saying?
Avalon.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Avalon.
Well, I know how to pronounce the word Avalon. I saw MMO. Usually it's like MMO RPG or something.
Massively multiplayer online is all that. We don't really know much else besides that. Like,
okay,
it could be an RPG. Like Minecraft is technically an MMO because it's a massive multiplayer online game, but it's not an RPG.
Okay, so MMO is a thing. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Did not know. I'm used to hearing more letters after MMO. Anyway, they announced a $10 million funding round led by Bitcraft Ventures and Hashed. We've been seeing between $9 and $12 million fundraisers left and right over the past 4 months. I love to see it. The price of Bitcoin might be like down 15% or something like that, 20% at most. But, VC capital is still flowing into the space. Next story, Omni, an L1 blockchain that aims to unify rollups via restaking. But all you technical people can appreciate that one, announces the Omni token. All you degenerate gambling people can appreciate that one, with early Omni community members and Ethereum partners eligible for their Genesis airdrop. So we'll see another token for a blockchain L1 organization. We'll have to see what happens. Last one, this is a fun one. Franklin Templeton Investments released a proper paper on Bitcoin runes, speculating that the standard can close the fungible token market cap gap that exists between Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum. Love it. Love these traditional financial institutions publishing work on Web3. I mean, it's so cool to see. And it shows that Franklin Templeton's, they're on it. I mean, they're literally publishing something on runes right as things go down. They're actually ahead of some degen traders. So I just love to see it. Pretty cool stuff. First story from the weather report to discuss here is crypto's price action. So we saw $35 million of Bitcoin ETF outflows Monday, as opposed to the $500 million of inflows a day that we got used to in the first 75 days of the Bitcoin ETF trading live. And so as majors continue to see volatility and dump 5 to 10% over the last 24 hours. We have the Bitcoin halving coming up in just about 96 hours, scheduled for Saturday for 420. So it's going to be
still scheduled for Saturday.
I have not been up to date on the halving. I would not be surprised if it has changed. But as of
last I saw was 11:55 p.m.
on Friday.
On Friday.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Too good to be true that it would go on 420.
So pissed, dude. When I was like, how do we slow the blocks down by like 5 minutes?
I was going to say, jam a bunch of,
yeah,
let's jam some transactions through and slow this thing down. Anyway, Easy, what do you make of what you see in the price action right now? A gentleman named Nebraskan Gooner, Clemente, I don't believe we've referenced this gentleman before. I'm assuming that's a man. I don't think a woman is calling herself Nebraskan Gooner. He tweeted some technical analysis based on the current Bitcoin chart saying, pretty straightforward breakdown here. Typically, these breakdowns are significant. Unless local resistance is reclaimed, you can't rule out a drop to 58K area support or lower. Easy, what are your thoughts, man?
I think we could very well see a 30% drop. And I think we could continue to see 30% drops over and over and over in a bull market. It happens every cycle. Like, it's the one thing people continue to overthink is like, call me crazy, but I have tweeted probably 30 times, like, give me a 30% drop so I can buy. And when Sol hit 129, I deployed some serious capital. Just the second GCR tweeted, I was like, oh yeah, we're buying. We're buying because I have the same thesis. Like, price will eventually go up. I don't think it goes up imminently forever. Nothing does. But, like, we do have some serious macro conditions right now that are causing for a shaky market. And a bunch of the equity people I follow, like traditional markets, have also been saying, like, we think a local top is in. I think we see a pullback. If we don't hold this area, expect some massive volatility across the market. I think it's like the 5290 area on the S&P, which could drop us down 40 points, which is pretty friggin' big. Like, that's a 10 to 15% drop. But what that sets up for is rate cuts, which are insanely bullish. Market sells off hard in an election year. You're going to watch Jay Powell. You're going to watch everyone pull out the Brinks truck to try to sustain what's going on here. Like, you almost have to. Because of an election year, you need the economy to be good through the summer into the election cycle for the current standing president to have any sort of chance, or else it's effortless for any incumbent to come in and say, yeah, you screwed the economy, take a look, everyone's out of money. And, like, that's obviously the most bearish thing for the current sitting president. So we heard potentially no rate cuts, which was like, okay, at least short term, no rate cuts. We've heard potentially rate cuts into the summer. But if we get some serious sell pressure here on markets across the board and we see any sort of inflation news that's bearish for the general consumer, you're going to watch the market take a pretty serious hit. And what that does is set up for some quantitative easing, some rate cuts, all the bullish terms that we get here. And honestly, if Sol goes back to 100, dude, we're gonna listen. I may have to buy a car and start living out of it just to get some more capital in the pockets to start deploying.
Love to hear it. I want to hear what Signal thinks on this too. We have Nathaniel Whitmore, NLW, the host of the Breakdown podcast, joining us in 2 days on Thursday. Very, very excited for that. First time he comes on this show, he came on my previous podcast, now defunct podcast, The Bitcoin Show. So I can't wait to really dig in with him on what he's thinking is happening here. If you guys remember, if you were listening to the show when Eric Crown came on the show a few weeks back, he pointed out that historically during halving years, during election years, which are the same thing, April's been a huge month for Bitcoin. And right now it's April 16th, and it seems that we are maybe bucking that trend. Signal, anything that you're paying attention to right now when you think about the crypto price action?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm on the same page as Easy. I thought what was interesting is that most of crypto Twitter over the weekend, when the markets opened on Monday, thought we dodged a bullet because of how resilient Bitcoin was looking. But then, if you look at the equity markets yesterday, like around like 9 p.m. my time at least, they like sold off aggressively on the equity side. So you could just see all those sell orders coming in from retail. I think like even though we're in the halving, that really is like, I think terminology for the crypto space. What the world is really looking at is what's happening in the Middle East right now. And if we see more volatility there, or just more like we don't see resolution on either side or more countries getting involved, I think the narrative around what you would expect to happen in the halving could actually just go completely the opposite way and will trend in the direction of macro news. So I'm interested to see like how those two narratives play out. Halving and a very significant halving versus what's happening in the Middle East and how that will affect demand and supply of Bitcoin. And seeing a pullback of 30% would not surprise me, but I would still be buying in that dip.
I mean, yeah, literally every dip with Bitcoin specifically is meant to be bought. I want to dig into some other stuff. Clemente was having audio issues, but wanted to try to come back. Clemente, want to give it a shot and see if your audio is okay?
How am I doing? Can you hear me?
Sound great.
Good. Yeah, you're good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, but we'll figure it out. I'm good to go. Also join with Nick. Let's go. A little double whammy.
Pull up the War is Bullish tweet. Let's talk about it. Because that's the thing we got to talk about here. It's bearish for emotional sentiment. It's bullish for financial means.
Yeah, I just, ladies and gentlemen, in the private chat, I requested that Clemente pull up a tweet by Fred Krueger, a very good follow if you're into, there we go. So here we go. We got Fred Krueger, who pulls no punches. He's a lot like Choose Rich Nick, to be honest. He's very similar, except he's a PhD in mathematics from Stanford.
There's 17 people that wrote this, but this guy obviously is the one who's knobs getting slobbed by PO.
Personally, I wrote it as well, and I think I have much more financial literacy and understanding than Fred Krueger. Personally, that's just me.
It's on the table. So Fred Krueger wrote on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, this is @Krueger. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, stocks dipped 3%, but recovered within a month. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, he wrote middle crisis, but it should have been missile crisis, stocks were 25% higher. After the Gulf War, stocks rallied 15%. Stocks have done fantastic since Russia invaded Ukraine. War is bad short term. For anything a bit longer, war is good for risk assets. Buy the drone attack. Some big words from Fred Krueger. Choose Rich Nick. Any commentary here?
Not on him. Not on Fred Krueger, but I mean, dude, Solana's looking just devastatingly awful right now. We're down 40%. Look at Ethereum NFTs. If you're not feeling a little bit depressed, a little bit inspired to maybe do things that aren't good for your literal physical body, it's understandable. Look at the ETH NFTs. So I got a question.
Let's talk about it.
We used to talk about these on the show. I don't know if you remember those days. Who's touching these? Dude, my fucking mutant ape is down to like 5K at this point. Like, it's so ridiculous.
I wish Clemente took this bet so bad, dude. So bad. Oh my God, dude.
Easy would have won the bet. Cyrus, very well-known I suppose you could call him an NFT Twitter, Twitter follow. He pointed out that at this point, it's actually a full round trip on Bored Apes. I think it's this tweet right here, Clemente. If you minted a mutant and held the other side, ApeCoin and heavy metal airdrops. So those are the airdrops that were received for those that minted a mutant ape. So, purchase mutant ape at mint. You are now down 10%, which is wild because mutant apes themselves went up to $120,000, 40 Ethereum. The ApeCoin, and I'd actually love to, if anybody has the data handy, I'd love to know what the ApeCoin airdrop for mutants was valued at the time of the airdrop in US dollars. It went up from the airdrop. And then of course the land as well. But that is some pretty fascinating stuff.
Like it was like max 20K or something like that. That was airdropped to each mutant, but then the price went up.
Went up substantially. Like a 5x or something like that, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. The dude, I mean, if you round trip the whole thing,
that's on you.
I feel sorry for you. I mean,
you had so many opportunities to sell this shit for money at any point over the last year, literally. Like
I was actively selling on this show, like multiple times. I was debating, like we're getting to a point where the airdrop I got for a single tweet could potentially pay for an entire Bored Ape. Basically,
woo, that's crazy.
Is borderline where we're like nearing.
Nick, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is referring to the Pacmoon airdrop he received for a single tweet. His
I'm going. There's no doubt I'm going to do another tweet and overtake Beeple after. Like just yesterday, my reply got me into the top 150 or something like
You're
that.
At 78th. I checked today.
I'm at 78.
Yeah, I'm currently sitting at 21.
Dude, I haven't done anything.
I've been working for my bags too, and I'm pissed about it.
Is this just based on impressions?
So
Literally,
get this.
based on Twitter.
It's more difficult than that though. The way that they stop the spam is the official Pacmoon tweet or Twitter has to like your tweet. So they've built out an API that confirms based on likes, that's what ingests it. So you don't have people just spamming bullshit. It's all about like quote quality content or funny content. I actually spoke to the team last week because I was like, hey, I want to talk to you guys and just figure out like, where is this going? Like, is it just going to forever be this? They actually got a pretty good attack plan. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I'm like wildly bullish on this. Like, I'm very excited about what it is you guys got in store here.
All I gotta do is reply to Pacmoon and I'm going to overtake everybody, dude. They just want me to be number one, dude. They're just rooting. We should just shoot a video today, and it's just going to be.
You'll immediately go to one.
Well, I was going to say,
immediately go to one.
Is this number one? Is this the best tweet-based campaign that we've seen from a crypto/blockchain company? Easy and Clemente are saying yes, Signal too. So I'll take that as a yes, and I think
but it's just not spammy. Like you don't see all this bullshit about it. It's like every post I've seen is either well thought out or actually funny. Like, I'm like, oh shit, this is a funny meme. Or someone made a full anime, a 35-second trailer of Pacmoon as a complete anime. Guy's got like 50 followers. I'm like, this video slaps. Like, it was the one time I even retweeted someone else about it because I was like,
I'm gonna take
this is so well done.
You're
just going to post it.
Okay, so I like that. What I was going to say is, so there's going to be more airdrop tokens for more content. So Nick, should we do a campaign like really as a business, orchestrate a proper campaign and run the airdrop revenue through the business?
No, I'm not interested in that, PO. So what I'd like to do,
I'm not supporting in any Pacmoon video. Then you can do a little selfie here and just go, hey, Pacmoon, or whatever you're gonna do. But if I'm involved, we run it through the business.
I mean, you can do your own video, and we'll both be camera people for each other. Boom.
I didn't agree to that.
Call the investors. Dude, I have no idea. Also, this is 1/3 of the size of the previous one, right?
So it's not a third. It might be a third, but the token price is up 4x from the previous one. So USD value is higher than the last airdrop.
Is it higher than when I sold?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Because Beeple's tweet and there's other stuff coming in the future. So the entire, like if you ever in the Pac-Man D1 space, it is electric in there. Everyone,
Dude.
it's such a strong community. And funny enough, Nick, you were, we were talking about how you'd farm blast. Like Pacmoon is one of the best ways to farm blast at the moment,
Hands
and
down.
you're liking it. Like you're liking tweeting about it so you can earn money, but you can even do more over on Blast with it. So I'm just saying, like you said, you didn't want to farm Blast, but you kind of are farming Blast by interacting with Pacmoon. And if you do a little bit more, there'll be more opportunities to earn more Pac.
When did this airdrop happen? Because that chart that was just shared did not look like it looked like it's pulled back.
Well, the whole market's pulled back.
Okay, but so there were just claims that I would have been that I would have been up higher, and it doesn't look like that's the case.
Yeah, you would have, because it went up. You sold after people you sold before people tweeted, right?
I guess I don't even know.
I believe so.
Yeah. It's gone up since. It's basically gone up since then, and then it's obviously come down with the market pulling back. But you still sold at a pretty decent price.
Dude, I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, you got $20,000 for a singular tweet. If you're mad about that, you gotta reassess your appreciation of the dollar.
Seriousness, outside of Pacmoon, as fun as that is, and I also saw that the Epic token is doing well as well. That's one of the meme coins that I own. I only own like that. May be the only one that I have a secret wallet that I use for BonkBot, and right now my holdings are in Epic, so it looks like that was a smart move. That said, is this relative to the price of Solana? In which case, it's not really surprising that it's just holding strong against Solana, but the US dollar value is just down across the board. Dude, it doesn't feel great right now. You're down 40% off the top of Solana. Like that's where we're at price action wise. I mean, that's a big dip. Like that's a painful dip.
I'm a buyer.
Especially given that we have a lot of Solana.
It's an alt dip, Nick. It's an alt dip, right? It's always going to feel painful, these alt dips, because I think everybody kind of puts Solana in the same bracket, I want to say, as Bitcoin, but it's not. It's still an alt, and it acts like an alt when Bitcoin sells off, and that's why we're seeing such a hard pullback right now in these conditions.
Yeah, I don't know this whole. So okay, so how much? So your Easy's buying here. I mean, we're almost down to where we were talking about your original entry, which is $100 of buys below $100.
Yeah, we'll turn it back on. But I deployed some serious capital at 129. That was like where I was like, okay. I took a massive chunk of my stables and plowed it into Solana. With like no hesitation, market buy, got a terrible fill. And I was happy about it. I'm still happy about it. I would buy more. I plan to.
Close to your buy, right?
Yeah, we're about $4 over where I got filled on the buy. About $4. And I want to buy more. Like, dude, if I'm uncomfortable right now,
plow it into Solana.
Say that again. Sorry.
I'm plowing my.
Okay.
I'm selling my car. I'm selling my car to buy some Solana right now.
Do it, coward.
Wait, really? Do you
actually no, Clemente? Fuck that.
Seattle.
Break the lease, live in the car, and spend the money you'd be spending on rent on Solana. It's a longer timeline. Listen, parking spots are cheap down here. You can pay hourly if you need to. That's like $8.
I mean, this is here. I'll pull this up real quick so we can see visually what I'm looking at on Solana right now. This is kind of how I'm looking at it. This line.
We're still in an uptrend.
Technically, we are still in an uptrend.
Still in an uptrend.
Let's go.
Can't fade that.
I mean, this has you going down to like 125. I had also mentioned 113 on the show before. These are like two levels that I'd be looking at. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's it's hard. It doesn't feel like a bull when you pull back 40%. You know what I'm saying?
But bull markets have 30 to 40% pullbacks. It happens. Like nothing. Dude, look at those green candles from March to halfway through March. We literally went up only from $100 to, you had the easiest 2x in 14 days. And people are sitting here like, oh man, the bull market's over. We're down 40% in a month. Like we ran 100% up in 15 days. And like anything that goes up that fast, people are going to sell and consolidate and exit at some point. The one thing you got to look at too is the outflows on the Bitcoin ETF that we saw. It was like, what, $50 million? So like at the end of the day, that's still very small in comparison to the inflows. And when you look at this, that's not an ugly chart.
Bitcoin's super strong.
We still have higher lows. Like that's the thing that you got to keep looking at. We're slightly outside of the little clouds we got here going on, but that's the thing I'm looking at is like, okay, so if we're now technically in an oversold zone, we could just chop here. And I don't think chop's a bad thing. Chops tend to actually set up for a decent rally on alts. The DXY, I'm still watching, hasn't shown any insane positive price action on this until today, where we've now broken out. But take a look at this too, is where like we're approaching that massive resistance that we were seeing dating back to October and November, which like if we start to get into that area, I expect another rejection on it. Like that sets up for a clean double top. If we break over that, that would be very surprising to me personally, especially with everything going on macro-wise. Like before you had joined, I was saying if we end up going to war, as bearish as that is for the
dollar
world.
is a no, but dollar is a strong. People view it as
Strong,
reliable, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But then the concern for me,
despite what Russia says.
Yeah, well, hey, check out the rupee. That thing's crushing right now. The thing that I look at though is like if we do see any sort of tightening from like an economic standpoint for the general consumer in an election year, we're gonna have to get cuts and quantitative easing of some capacity.
I don't know when that like trend began. You're so young that's a
Nope. Shout out Al Gore 2000. I was in first grade and I was an advocate for watching the financial markets.
Al Gore 2000.
Yep.
Sorry.
I think he was 2000, wasn't
he? Yeah. Well, that's when he lost the contest.
He lost. Yeah. Then shout out Florida.
Florida.
Shout out Florida. Listen, full circle moment for me.
When they were counting Chads.
Yep, exactly. And it actually, since global warming is fake, shout out Al Gore as well. That's why it's raining in Dubai. So this is a whole full circle moment here.
No, that's not global warming. That's just fake rain. They make their rain. They make their rain in Dubai.
Telling me this, dude. What does that mean? They
inject some sort of
seed the clouds.
Yeah, they seed the clouds.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Too much.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. So
what?
like they seeded it too much.
That's rich. Easy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, dude. No, you got 1 sec. You got to see this video.
Go to Farouk's account. Like Farouk and team are wading through water to go to the store. They have them on the second floor. They're mopping water out of the.
Check the video I just sent you. The airport literally has planes flying into an ocean right now. Like this is insane. That's the airport. And then this whole video is just the best videos of it, this thread, if you want to see how underwater it is. So for the audience, an airport is literally landing in what looks like an ocean.
An airport is landing?
An airplane is landing into the ocean right now. The mall's collapsed. You got, like, this is, dude, I would not want to be in Dubai right now. I'm good. It gets even crazier. Like, there's a video of a conference under it, and everyone has their shoes off.
That's crazy. Someone told us that we were idiots if we didn't go to Dubai. Well, I'll take the other side of that one.
If you keep scrolling down, it gets even crazier. Like each of these videos gets wilder.
Pio's like, yo, look at how comfy I am.
That one looks like a horror movie. There's like, oh my God, dude.
Fuck?
Yeah, dude. Imagine going to Dubai where it rains 16 days a year, and the one time the NFT conference is there, it's. Yeah, man, I'm content. I'm happy.
Shout out to eBrink saying now we know where all the liquidity went. It went to Dubai.
What the hell? Dude, it looks like an apocalypse in Dubai right now. If you Farouk's picture, he walks up the stairs in his team. He's singing in French. It's kind of it's a funny video. He's bringing a positive attitude to it. That third one, that one right there. He's walking up the stairs. And people are they're mopping. I don't know if it was Mika. It looked like Mika was the one. The like like literally mopping the water off the floor. I mean, dude, that situation looks absolutely absurd.
I'd love to see Nick in his. This is like basically the anti-Nick situation.
Dude, this is
like...
hell. I mean,
Nick, if you were there right now, what would you do?
Well, I don't know that I wouldn't have rented the Airbnb like they did. I'd be in my like hotel room, but the problem is like, dude, all these places are flooded. You just have to wait, basically. What's annoying is like the grossness of like the humidity that you have while the water is like what do you call it? Evaporating. Yeah, dude, that's one of their teams trying to like clear up one of the he's digging a hole.
Like the manholes?
Or the drain.
The drainage.
But the problem is I don't think the drainage goes, like, I think it's overflowing. That's like in Miami, actually, they run into the same situation where the water just comes out and people are like, yo, why is it flooding like this? And it's like Miami's at sea level. Like there's no, if the ocean goes up, you're just flooded. Like there's no drain. It's just the ocean.
It could be worse though, because at least Dubai's clean. Like it's a clean city. So if that was to happen in like London or Paris or New York, can you imagine the garbage situation that would be having of like all the crap that's on the streets just like going into the water? At least there, you know that it's just water. It's water and some leaves. So it could be a lot worse. But damn, man, whoever did the rain today, like made it rain, they need to chill on the good old whatever they're adding, whatever they're adding in there, the salt, the ionized product. They need to chill and get fired.
Well, isn't it? This is real rain though. Like they didn't see.
No,
this.
I don't think this is
this?
real rain. I think they seeded this.
Oh, well, someone's getting fired. Someone's getting super fired. This is not what. Why? What? All right, that's so weird. Okay,
I think it just proves that it's somewhat uncontrollable, and you can seed the rain, but this is the outcome. I mean, look, it's unnatural to be like. It's not like, like it's not usually.
It's fake rain.
California, when they have a drought, doesn't suddenly like go and seed the clouds. Like that's not like a thing that most people do. I mean, yeah, it just shows like it's basically Dubai is like Las Vegas or something like that. Like it's in the desert.
Yes.
Like there's not, so as cool of a place as it is, it's like humanity at its like most extreme, or like, yeah, pretty much, and trying to develop a society in that place. Anyways, bottom line is, it looks like Armageddon, and it's representative, I think, of the broader crypto market.
Well, there you go, Clemente. Do we get to this Grant Cardone bullet point?
Not yet.
All right, so
can I ask one last question real quick before we go to Grant Cardone? Is there any reason to hold ETH NFTs?
I'm holding a bunch of Pudgy Penguin stuff.
Yeah, I know, but is there a good reason to?
Yes. Just hold it. Pudgy, like, I mean, it depends. Obviously, not all of them are going to come back, but like Pudgy Penguins are. Yeah.
Are you holding anything, Clemente?
One seal.
Oh.
That's my last one. It's the only thing I've left. I sold everything else.
Okay.
I do think Blast launching on our Blur launching on Blast will bring some exit liquidity. If you are looking for that, Nick, that might be your last like little pump to get out of it. But it's hard to be optimistic for like the overall ETH NFT ecosystem coming back.
Well, no one. So if Easy's prediction happens of mutants going to 1 or sub 1, no one's buying. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you're so I have a lot of thoughts on this. So I think, let's just say worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? The Yuga Labs organization goes out of business. I think we can all, that's probably the worst case scenario, right? For like Bored Apes or something, right? That the way the crypto market works, the market could react to that. Like, let's say when they officially tweet, like, we've gone bankrupt. This is an extreme situation. I'm not predicting this. I'm not saying this is going to happen. The crypto market then might be like, this is bullish. No more execution risk, right? Like, this is done. NFTs are the riskiest, kind of layer in crypto without question, more than meme coins. Like they're non-fungible tokens, right? The liquidity is limited. Do I think that when Spencer came on the show last week, he and I literally were talking about this. Easy was here too on that one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, I'm just fundamentally operating with do I think that NFTs are going to have another significant market moment? And my belief is yes. I don't think that there's never in the history of humanity going to ever be another significant market moment. Plus, we're so early in the cycle when all sorts of people, including smart people that I respect, were saying, I think this is going to be a shorter cycle. I was like, yeah. How could you possibly predict that? I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't understand where it's like coming from, where that prediction could come from. And now that we're seeing this big pullback and you're seeing that this cycle's not short at all, you're seeing a lot of people kind of dunk on the people that held that position. But to me, my game plan was to hold these pudgy penguins until mid 2025 at least. So I'm 15 months away from that. So why would I care about what happens right now?
Sell it right now, dude.
No, those NFTs will make a comeback, Pia. I'm talking about like the overall ecosystem, like unique wallets, like money flowing. It's hard to imagine a world where money flows back into the ETH NFT ecosystem as a whole. That's not saying captains are not a buy at 3 ETH. That's not saying like mocha version of or whatever these are. It's that like seeing this level of euphoria that we saw back in 2021, 2022. It's hard for me to imagine a world where like clone X's are pumping again and not.
Well, you're right to think about it in the individual collections. I look at the individual collections because like pudgy penguins, let's say ETH NFTs are dead. They can just bridge to Solana, boom, locked in, done. Or like bridge wherever it's hot. Same thing with meme land. That's why I like having the NFT because I'm like, I don't care what Ethereum does or what Ethereum NFTs do because I have the Pudgy Penguins NFT. So if the Pudgy Penguins startup organization decides it's better for the Pudgy Penguins NFTs to be on a different blockchain, they can just do that. I don't necessarily care if like Solana is more popular than Ethereum for like the market. I don't have an index of Ethereum NFTs, right? Nick kind of does have an index. I don't know if cryptodes are going to come back, right? Or if
that's my first buy, dude. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, but also as well, like I think we've seen it play out with DeGods when collections bridge to other blockchains. That isn't what the market wants. I don't even think it like matters if the Ethereum ecosystem at the moment is quiet or dead or whatever. Like it really comes down to the individual projects who haven't decided to be like, all right, Ordinals is pumping, so we need to go have something on Ordinals. I'm actually more bearish on projects that do that rather than just stay in their lane and execute in their lane. So similar to PO, it's just looking at those individual collections, thinking, is the team executing and doing good stuff within the Ethereum ecosystem? And I think Meme Land's a really good example of that. The fact that they support the Ethereum ecosystem, continue to build in it, and there's definitely going to be more coming. That is a standout collection, I think, at 3 ETH. And if it goes lower, I would be picking this up at lower prices. However, there are a majority where I'm like, well, do I want my liquidity in XYZ project, which has been in my wallet for the last 8 months, when I could take that money and put it somewhere else? Because at the end of the day, all of this is an opportunity cost. So I would rather take those other NFTs, take that money and deploy it in a different way rather than sitting on bags of hopium and just waiting for the ecosystem to come back.
So I understand why you brought up DeGods. I disagree with the context because it's not that the market didn't like DeGods bridging. It's that the market didn't like DeGods organizational approach at that time. When I look at the different organizations in the market, I have OpenSea pulled up right now, right? You see Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Well, that's a startup organization, Yuga Labs. You see Pudgy Penguins. That's a startup organization. You brought up Captains. That's a startup organization. We're a startup organization. Those are the names that come to mind for me right away. Then there's a bunch of video game companies. Those all count too. But in terms of the old guard of NFTs, if you go down the list of all those companies, I mean, okay, Doodles, that's another one. That and I guess Zuki's doing their anime. That's another one. There's basically less than 10 functioning organizations at this point. So you have to see how it plays out with those organizations. Plus, some of them are making really, really bold bets. For example, Yuga Labs. the Yuga Labs bet of let's make a video game ecosystem or whatever, large scale, incredibly competitive, and let's abandon physical collectibles, for example, and let's not have crypto updates and crypto stuff. It's a bold bet. It's a hard one. Maybe it pays off. But Signal pointed out, like, I don't want to like miss out on other opportunities because I have my capital tied up on NFTs, blah, blah, blah. NFTs are the highest risk, highest reward. So you got to risk it for the biscuit. There's a lot of risk, homie. Go ahead, Clemente.
Like when you look at ordinals, for example, and compare them to
Campai Pandas, I forgot to. Sorry, Clemente. Campai Pandas. Go ahead.
When you look at ETH NFTs and when you look at the overall ecosystem of Azuki, for example, Azuki minted, they already did the beans drop. They already did the elementals. The last thing they have in terms of like crypto native activations that they can do is the token drop. That's like how many things they have left to pull. When I look at like ordinals, for example, and you look at these 10K collections that just minted, they have so many more things they can still pull out of the playbook. That is a positive catalyst that at least gets me excited, especially with runes coming up. And I think when you look at a lot of builders in ordinals like Udi, for example, there's a playbook that they can take from 2021 in terms of operating as a Web3 or NFT founder. That is much more interesting to me than a lot of ETH NFT projects that have lost momentum, that minted out 3 years ago, that the founder is like absolutely exhausted. They're running out of money. They need to figure out revenue. Like Udi just raised, I forget how much money.
9 million.
9 million. And how much did he make from Quantum Cats? Like they're just dripping in money right now. They're dripping in momentum, and they're going to continue to build that with the speculation that they have for like Taproot, Wizards, and whatever else they do on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, they're one. I should have mentioned them too. If I didn't, I thought I might have. I should have. I meant to. Obviously, that is a startup organization, and it's well positioned. Someone asked, "How are NFTs more risky than meme coins? Please explain." I just immediately responded via text. You can exit a meme coin in a heartbeat because it's a fungible token, not a non-fungible token, and the addressable market for meme coins is 100 times larger. You can get your normie friend to buy Dogecoin right now. I promise. You can get them to buy Dogecoin right now. You cannot get your normie friend to buy an NFT. How even would they get an NFT? They're going to get them a wallet, a browser wallet? No, they're going to go to Coinbase and buy whatever the hell is there. They are not going to buy an NFT, period. That's actually good for you because you're early, literally. Yeah. Clemente?
It's wild, Pio. I was literally thinking about this yesterday. Mad Lads, the market cap right now, if you take the soul price times the supply times our floor price, etc., it's $166 million right now.
Yep. NFTs are dead, dude. Yeah, no, that's nothing.
If a Mad Lads meme coin or a Mad Lads token dropped or something like that, I'm like, that would be like a multi-billion-dollar market cap. I don't know. It's just very interesting, especially when you look at the
I meant to say Mad Lads too. I'm like forgetting things. I'm not trying to exclude these legit ass businesses that I hold, by the way. I have a Mad Lad.
Yeah, but it's hard to imagine a world where anything Mad Lads related, when you look at the overall business being built and the exchange and everything related to that, is at a market cap of $166 million. Obviously, there's a different way of looking at it, but it's definitely staggering, and it feels like Mad Lads, if we zoom out and just NFTs as a whole, which I think they're going to come back, these feel like such steals, but all the attention right now is on ordinals and is on runes and the halving, and that's where at least the speculative money is flowing to right now.
Well, we have to dive into another segment before, like for solid 15 minutes, so I don't want to stick on this, but real quick, NFT is just like, that's just a technology. So at the end of the day, yeah, they're going to come back. They haven't gone anywhere. It's just a technology, right? And there's going to be winning NFT collections. I see like NFT defenders coming out of the woodwork right now, implying that NFTs are less risky than meme coins. You clearly have never gone to a park in New York City and asked people if they'd buy Dogecoin versus a picture of a monkey or something similar. Everybody hates NFTs. There's a tiny market for it globally right now. All normies know what Dogecoin is. probably have bought it and probably would buy it again long before they buy a picture of a monkey. And you're talking to somebody that's a multiple time NFT founder that's literally running a business whose primary crypto product is an NFT collection. So let me just give it to you straight without bias. Let me tell you, Dogecoin is more popular than whatever NFT you're interested in. Let me tell you, I'm not even framing it as a bad thing. It's just more niche. It's riskier. And it's earlier. Dogecoin's been out for like 8 years. Like, how could you expect NFTs going into now their second full cycle to be more popular than something that's been around for nearly a decade? Not a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. If you're feeling a bunch of pain, well, it doesn't mean your NFTs are going to come back. But anyway, Clemente, the segment that we have to dive into is an NFT segment, so all the NFT fanboys can, I mean, I know you're ready to behead me, but anyway, you can tune in here. We're checking in on Solana NFT, something that we haven't been talking about. So we're going to go to easy on this. What do we need to know about the state of NFTs on the Solana blockchain in the past few days? We got a few collections. We got Joe. I mean, I can't believe I have to say these names.
Joe Bowden.
Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me for the names I'm going to say, but there's a collection called the Joe Bowdens, inspired by the meme coin. Is it the organization that put out the meme coin? Is that who put out the Joe Bowdens NFT collection, Easy?
I don't think it was the team. I think it was a community move here. And that's almost why it's more bullish, personally.
Bullish.
Like, people like the memes, dude.
Yeah.
People like the memes. They're easy to understand. It's kind of been the thesis for SPL 404s and token 22s and SPL 22s. Like, when you have the memes that you can rock while also having the NFT to be like, oh, I'm a whale of this. That's kind of where I'm like, okay, this starts to make sense. And this did start, obviously, Joe Bowden's going up to 9 SOL before this was crazy. You had the Retardio Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
That was
That's another one.
That was based on ticker Retardio. And these went as high as 18 SOL from a 1 SOL mint. So an 18x that sent. Joe Bowden's were half a SOL mint to 9 SOL. So an 18x continuing to show some signs of life, man. Like, and when they show signs of life, it's tough to fade. It's really tough to fade.
Another is Mutant Mon. And ladies and gentlemen, we're checking these out on Tensor.trade, the #1 marketplace for Solana NFTs. Easy?
Yeah, so Mutant Mon is definitely more in line with the 404 conversation. And what I mean by that is, like, they have game release coming. They have skill trees stats. They're launching an SPL 22 and 404 launchpad to just kind of drive action and engagement across the board for the new token standard. So this one is definitely more of along the business line than just the meme coins. But it's kind of tough for the meme coin to like fade the meme coin side of things. It's kind of been that narrative for a little bit now where I really do think meme coin PFPs make a lot of sense. Like,
Easy. Can I quickly interrupt? So before you were saying that Solana NFTs have been relatively flat because everyone was like farming them for the Tensor airdrop and the Sharkify airdrop. And we haven't had the Magic Eden one yet, but we have had 2 of sort of like the top 5 drop so far. So is this the kind of activity you would expect post these 2 drops, or are we still pretty flat and you expect more activity to come back?
I think we will end up seeing more activity. We've started to see a lot of farming as well on some other marketplaces. And I think even Tensor has kind of teased that they're going to be having some additional opportunities for this. Like, they have season 4 coming, which is like, okay, so there's going to be more. I think they're going to lean into like a Blur style playbook where right now it's a pretty undercrowded trade, especially on Tensor, where it makes sense where when a lot of people are looking elsewhere to go and take advantage of some stuff here and start diving into this avenue and this vertical, especially because there's like, what else has really changed? Like, Solana price is actually down right now. So it's like, this seems pretty straightforward, pretty standard to actually kind of drive into some price action on some NFTs here that feel like they may have some legs.
Real quick, I'm pulling up a tweet of D's saying that my default expectation when buying any Solana NFT is this, and it's a chart of crypto undeads.
I wish Nick was here. Nick would be sinking his teeth into this topic of conversation, ladies and gentlemen. This was my baseline expectation, but anyway, go ahead, Clemente.
Yeah, it is hard. Like, I mean, there's a lot of NFTs I've bought in the last few months on Solana that I'm like, yeah, I'm excited about this and I'll buy it, and I forget about it. Like, with NFTs, like on Solana, I almost have to establish the time frame of what I'm going to be buying in. because so you can lose attention so fast on Solana, where a lot of the NFTs that I bought are down like 90%. I'm like, dude, that doesn't happen on ETH. But because it's so fast to move in and out of these trades, like the lack of friction sometimes is bearish because people can move in and out so fast. So I'm down on a lot of these NFTs that I've bought on Solana. I'm down like 90%. I'm like, oh, that was just not the right move. But Mutamon, that's the only one I'm up on in the last few weeks. And it is interesting what they're doing with the SPL. Part of it, easy. The only thing I was curious about is it does feel like these innovations and these like new mint mechanics possibly are bringing back attention to Solana NFTs. Like people like with Joe Biden, as annoying as however you might feel about that, it's probably not going to have a long-term price action, bullish price action, but it is interesting just seeing attention and trading from a short-term perspective go back to Solana NFTs, because at least there's something to do, right?
It gives something. That's the main thing. It's like a lot of people are still trading meme coins. Photon's still active. Pump.fund's still making literally millions of dollars a day. So it's like meme coins aren't going anywhere. And a lot of people are saying like this cycle, it will mainly be meme coins. So, I mean, the NFTs, once again, make sense when there's a spin on them off of meme coins. Like, oh, this is great. This is fun. Now I can rock a PFP that shows how big my bags are. And we actually saw Beanie take funds in THOG, which is like something about gravity. I forget what the actual full name is. But he took a pre-sale for the NFT mint, paid for it in the token of the meme coin that he's been basically shilling relentlessly.
Dude, hold on, just 1 second. I looked up Beanie THOG. This guy just shills meme coins 24/7.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Look at this. There's just, for people listening, it's literally just the last 24 hours. There's 6 tweets about THOG and how it's gonna be in 100.
My favorite one, scroll up, Clemente. My favorite one is 25 minutes ago. He wrote, THOG is a free NFT, not a $100 book. This is in response to Yuga Labs doing the $100 CryptoPunk book. What?
Hey, listen, so that's what the market is. And it seems maybe my thesis on NFTs for meme coins is starting to make a lot more sense. It seems like it's really starting to pan out. When I was like, imagine someone who was a dog with hat whale rocking the official PFP of dog with hat. Same with Pepe. Like, oh, you made $1 million on Pepe? Here's your one of one that you have that signifies that you just diamond handed the shit out of this and made generational wealth. And
I like it.
That's collectability at the end of the day, too. Think about that. Like, how likely is that person who sold the meme coin for $2 million to then sell the NFT for $500? Probably zero, because it's like, I got this by making life-changing money on this meme coin. If it's almost like an Xbox achievement. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a badge of honor that I have in a memory, which is like what collectibles are and how NFTs actually started. And it kind of just brings this full circle moment here where I'm like, this makes way more sense than like one utility versus I bought this because it gives me a feeling of I did this, I have this, I can look back on it and have this memory of like, this is when I made it. You know what I mean? And that's why I think the market continues to trend. Like, make NFTs collectible again, make them fun, make people just signify them to some emotional attachment, and watch the floor price pump. Like, it's crazy, but Retardio Cousins is one that like is so dumb, but that's the best part about it. Is like there's PFPs of people rocking them, and they're like, yeah, dude, I'm just a major left curve. Like, I just buy the dumbest shit and it works. And it's like, it works. Yeah, you're right. It works.
I love it. I mean, the meme coin NFT thesis is essentially the same thing as Milady's. Like, what's Milady's floor price right now?
They're going up. That's all I know. If you look at Blur, that's like the one thing that's still going up.
4.5 ETH floor right now.
More than Captain's.
Look at Redacted Emilio, babies. Up 18% today, 25% on the week, 1.8.
Oh, dude.
Just
1.8.
Flipping,
flipping little pudgies easy.
Flipping
no
mutant
problem.
apes.
Flipping mutant apes.
This is
no
worth more
problem.
than a mutant ape. Like, don't overthink this. People like the coins, dude. When you see one of these on the timeline or a Milady, the first thing everyone thinks of is, oh, this person's shitcoins is in the shitcoin cabal. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you have that tonality and you've established the presence of like, this is who these people are. It's tough to really breach that or break it. And it's like, why not lean into it even more? And it's what they've done. It's why they're doing well.
Clemente, did we cover everything that we were supposed to, or is there more meat on the bone here?
No, it's good. It's good
That's
stuff.
good. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoy the show. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week. It's also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts if you want the audio-only version to bring with you on the go, if you prefer those apps, or if you want to share the show with people outside of the Twitter bubble. Also, if you want to actually watch the show, see the graphics that Clemente pulls on screen, and of course, see the panelists in full 4K, then check out the YouTube stream, like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out X platform video. Just check us out everywhere that you can. We'll be back tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, very special guest. We have NLW, and I've got some kick-ass guests. We've got some kick-ass guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun. Trying to make sure that we always have some awesome guests bringing some different perspectives on the show. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time, like I mentioned. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will catch you next time. Have a good rest of your day. See you later.
I don't think you're under the stream, Fee. I'm ending it right now.